Hi, and welcome to a short video tutorial on a must-use feature of the DDD dashboard, the Learner Intervention Planning Report. The Learner Intervention Planning Report is an early warning system that identifies learners and subjects needing different levels of intervention. As you will see in this video, the report allows you to segment learners according to predicted performance so that interventions can be tailored and targeted. It allows you to identify the key combinations of characteristics that predict year-end learner outcomes. And finally, it allows you to decide whether to differentiate your interventions to be learner, class, or school-based. Given the disruptions that the coronavirus has brought to the 2020 academic year, using this report to help focus your interventions across learners and subjects is more important than ever. This is especially true for the grade 12s, where targeted support is needed to get them over the finish line. Let us now download and run through an anonymized schools report for grade 12 and see how it can be used. When you are on your school's landing page, check that the dashboard is displaying data for the term you want to analyze. For this example, we are going to look at Term 1, 2020. Then click on the Reports tab. In the Learner Achievement section of the reports, you will see the Learner Intervention Planning Report. Click on the report's name to download it. A pop-up box will appear. In the menu bar, select Grade 12, then click Apply. Once the report is downloaded, a pop-up will appear either at the bottom left of your screen, or it could also appear in the middle of your screen. Select the option that allows you to open it. Before you can work with the report, you need to click Enable Editing at the top of the Excel sheet. This DDD report has 3 sheets. These are the Summary, Subject Details, and Learner Details sheets. In the Summary sheet, the first table summarizes the Subject Details sheet. You will see that it lists the subjects offered in the grade, the level of intervention recommended, the percent of learners failing the subject, the number of learners failing the subject, and the learner enrollment number. Regarding the level of intervention for a subject, there can be recommendations for either a class-level intervention, individual learner intervention, or for no intervention. A class-level intervention is recommended if 50% or more of learners are failing the subject, or if 50 or more learners are failing the subject. Individual learner intervention is recommended if no class intervention is needed, but individual learners are failing and need support. Scroll down the sheet to view the second table, which summarizes the Learner Details sheet. You will see that this table shows the percentage and number of learners in the grade that need to be monitored, receive light intervention, or receive immediate intervention. It also shows the percent and number for which no recommendation is given because key data is missing. The different learner intervention levels can be explained as follows. Immediate intervention is assigned to learners if the model predicts that they have a high chance of failing at the end of the year. These learners will need intensive remedial support across a range of subjects and possibly psychosocial support too. Light intervention is assigned to learners that have a higher chance of passing at the end of the year, but just need assistance with 1 or 2 subjects to make it. Monitor is recommended for learners that are on track to pass at the end of the year. It is important to not forget about these learners. They need to be kept engaged and encouraged to achieve bachelor-level passes in the final exams. Now let's move on. Click on the Subject Details Sheet tab. There is some very useful information in the first 4 columns of this sheet. Here we can see that for each subject we have the school's grade 12 class average for the term, and this is compared to the provincial average, district average, and circuit average mark. You will notice that the final 5 columns of the table show the same information as the summary sheet, along with the educator counts. Let's pick a subject. Life Sciences in grade 12 in this school had a 31% class average in Term 1. This is significantly below the provincial, district, and circuit averages. In addition, over 58% of the learners taking this subject are failing it. This explains why it is recommended for class-level intervention. What might be the reason why so many learners are struggling with this subject? While this report is called the Learner Intervention Planning Report, it could be the case that an educator also needs support if a class-level intervention is recommended. Let's move to the Learner Details sheet to see how we can identify which grade 12s need to be supported with which subjects. Click on the Learner Details tab. There is a lot of data in this sheet. To make your life easier, it will be useful to add a filter to the sheet. To do this, start by clicking on the row with the headings of the data. In the Learner Intervention Planning Report, this is row 2. You will see that Excel has highlighted the whole row. Once you have done this, go to the top of the Excel page and click on the menu option that says Data. Then find the filter button and click on it. You know the filter is on if small downward-facing arrows appear in the column headings. We are now going to analyze the data for learners that have the greatest risk of failing. Click on the down arrow in the column with the heading Recommended Intervention. Click on Select All to deselect all options. Then click Immediate Intervention. Click OK. We can now explore the possible reasons why these learners are at such a high risk of failing the year. Scroll to the right to see more of the data for each learner. We can scroll down the sheet and see that it is not the learner attendance that is the problem. We can observe other data that can impact a learner's risk status. This includes information on how the learner entered the grade, whether it was by promotion or progression, whether the learner has struggled with home language, first additional language, or struggled to maintain a high enough average in the past. To the right of these columns, however, is arguably more important information. Scroll to the right to view the Term 1 subject performance of immediate intervention learners. We can now see which subjects are causing each learner to be at a high risk of failing. For example, the learner in the second row is failing life sciences and is close to failing agricultural sciences, maths literacy, and physical sciences. This learner may not be able to increase their life sciences mark to a pass level by the end of the year, but with focused help, can pass these other subjects safely and make it through. A bit lower down in the sheet, we can see that there is a learner that is close to passing life orientation and geography. By doing some further analysis on what content areas this learner struggles in, and then conducting some targeted support, he or she can pass the final NSC exams. Once you have analyzed all the learner's data and noted which subject should be prioritized for each learner, scroll back to the left of the sheet. Click on the down arrow in the column with the heading Recommended Intervention. Click on Immediate Intervention to deselect it. Then click on Light Intervention and click OK. You can then repeat the process for learners with light intervention status. Following that, you should repeat the exercise for learners with monitor status. We hope that you have found this video informative and that you feel more confident with how to use the Learner Intervention Planning Report to assist your grade 12s. If you need help designing your grade 12 learner interventions for specific subjects, please make use of the subject chapters of the DBE's NSC diagnostic reports. These can be accessed on the DDD School portal in the Problem Solving tab. A further video tutorial is provided on the portal to guide you on how to use these valuable NSC diagnostic reports when developing your interventions. As a final word of encouragement to share the Learner Intervention Planning Report, let's hear from DDD super user Clarissa Abrams.
Immediately, if you look at this, you can identify learners in your class and you say, okay, this one, I need to monitor this one so that it's not so serious, but this is a child that the red lights is flicking there, I must look. And the immediate intervention that pops up also, that shows you, please look at where this child needs some intervention and put that interventions into place and even group them if to make your work easier. What I learn here, I must share with the teachers that I work with. And it's not for my information to sit with all this and now all this is happening and this, but to go back and say, listen here, this was on dashboard. I've made a screenshot. Here's a copy for each of you.
If you have any questions on making use of the Learner Intervention Planning Report, please contact the DDD Help Desk, either by email or by phone. We look forward to hearing from you.